got a question for you. If Trump loses in November, what happens to Trumpism? What happens to the conspiracy theories, the election denialism, the gaslighting, the racism, the bombast, the lies, the cruelty? What happens to all of that? That's what a lot of people have been asking recently, including the writer of this new piece for The Hill. They argue Econ 101 tells us there is no going back from Trumpism. I think they're right. I think basic market fundamentals will perpetuate his nasty racist carnival. Let me explain why. Even if Trump fails to secure the White House, the supply and demand side problems of Trumpism within the GOP will keep that political philosophy alive. Now, let me be clear here. There is no heir apparent to the Maga movement. Every potential successor with a realistic claim to Trump's throne is, well, kind of weird. Don Jr. and Eric, that's non-starters. Ohio Senator J.D. Vance is now the least popular vice presidential candidate of the 21st century. And other potential heirs like Missouri Senator Josh Hawley, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, Vivek Ramaswamy, well, they can cosplay as the Orange God King, but they come off as really awkward, cheap copies. Maybe it's Tucker Carlson? I don't know. However, just because MAGA's line of succession is messy doesn't mean the political movement is dead. Why? I mean, think about the situation in North Carolina right now. Think about it. As the author of the Hill piece writes, prior to heading to the polls, Tar Heel state voters were unaware of the recent reporting detailing Robinson's prolific posting on the message board of Nude Africa. They did not know about his identification as a black Nazi, his penchant for transgender pornography, or his expressed desire to own slaves. However, they were well aware that Robinson is a Holocaust denier. They were well aware that Robinson expressed support for total abortion bans without exceptions for rape or incest. They were well aware that Robinson had compared queer people to feces, maggots, and flies. And yet, they overwhelmingly voted for him. He dominated the GOP primary. And that's what I mean by the demand and supply side problems of Trumpism in the Republican Party. In the last decade, the Republican base has made it very, very clear that it craves racism and cruelty, and it will eagerly reward any jackass who provides it to them. MAGA voters will not wake up on November 6th and respond to a Harris victory with a heel turn back to compassionate conservatism. They will say the election was stolen. They will say Harris is a dictator. They will demand Trump or whoever comes next to crank up the fascism. So that's the thing. Even if Trump disappears and the supply side of Trumpism decreases, the demand side of Trumpism will keep the philosophy alive and well. As the Hill author writes, the notion that the party of Lincoln is but one more election loss away from course correcting back to the glowing, genial days of George H.W. Bush is an abject fantasy. In the last few weeks, the Harris-Walz team has appeared to adopt the unofficial campaign slogan, "We're not going back." You've heard it, we're not going back. The GOP might as well start chanting that same mantra too. It's sad, but I have to agree. I think the GOP is lost to MAGA. Thanks for watching, everyone. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. It really affects the algorithm, and we appreciate it. It helps us out. If you want to subscribe, right here on the top right, and if you want more content, right here on the bottom right. Just click right here. Also, we go live every day at 10 a.m. for about an hour, or maybe even more, with the day's hot topics. And then we go live again at 5 p.m. with Lemon Live at 5, where we talk to you, the subscriber. We read your comments, and we interact with you. So there's plenty of content for you. Make sure you check it out.